We're just going to start with kind of breaking down the basic grip a little bit. We're going to start with the right hand. So, as you know, we use a three-finger fulcrum here, not first finger fulcrum like some places, or not totally back of the grip, or second finger fulcrum as some other places. We're going to use all three right here. So you just want to start with the stick and take it, place it in your hand. Okay, we're going to do equal pressure between the first and the second finger. Your thumb should be about right between the first two, and then you're going to very lightly and relaxed wrap your fingers around. Now, what we don't want is this right here. Okay, you don't want the back of the stick to touch the palm of your hand in here. You want it to be nice and relaxed. I always like to call it a pocket right in here, because that way the stick will be able to kind of have a little play in there and have a little bit of air, and then you'll be able to get full resonance from the stick, and that'll help your overall sound quality. So again, okay, three-finger fulcrum, lightly wrap the sticks around. Don't grip the stick so hard that it's touching the back of the palm or the inside of the palm. Okay, you want the pocket. One thing that we also don't want is the stick just kind of resting on the pads of the fingers, like right here. Okay, you want it all the way in the meat of the fingers. Okay, so that's the basic breakdown of the right hand. Now with the left hand, you're going to take your hand, just put your hand out like this. Okay, and obviously we want the grip pressure right here. Okay, right here in the stick. You want to be squeezing with your thumb. Okay, then you want to lightly wrap your first finger around. Okay, and we're going to start with that. Okay, that's where the big thing is. Okay, we want the thumb to make contact with the first finger at all times, the index finger, all the time. Never ever lets go. Okay, and I always like to think of it like if there was like a needle or a nail or something. Okay, you would go through your about your bottom of your fingernail. People are built differently, so it's going to be a little different for everybody. But through the thumb, down through the first finger, all the way through the stick. Okay, that's where you make the contact, and that will help you be able to use the thumb and the index finger to your advantage. And again, yeah, you'll be able to use everything. Now with your other fingers, we're just going to wrap those around lightly, kind of go along for the ride. Okay. One thing that we don't want to see is this thing right here, the pinky finger underneath the ring finger. That's bad. That creates tension. We want to keep it a natural curve as much as possible. Kind of just like this. If we were to do this and take the stick, place it in there, keep it as natural as possible. One thing we also don't want is we don't want a lot of daylight coming through right here. Okay, so keep that connection there. Relaxed hand, very relaxed hand, nice and heavy. Okay, again, squeeze right here, wrap the index finger over, connect with the thumb, straight line through the thumb to the first finger to the stick. Okay, and then place your other fingers on. Another thing is the connection between the ring finger and the stick. We want to keep that as much as possible and as relaxed as possible. We don't want to squeeze the stick from there and kind of create like a second fulcrum thing going on, holding between these two fingers. But we almost always want some sort of contact, not bailing off the stick like this, but contact right there. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. So let's start with that. Alright guys, now for our first exercise, we're going to do something kind of a basic stroke type exercise to kind of figure out the mechanics of our stroke. Okay, first of all, I want you guys to just notice how my hands are positioned. Okay, my beads are together, very close to the head, not up here like this, not like this, or doing any weird things with the beads. Okay, beads are together, very close to my head. I'd like to apologize for not playing actually on a drum. I don't have access to a drum. Hopefully you guys do, and if you do, please play on a drum. It's very important. But anyways, back to the exercise. Okay, beads close to the hand. Note the angle of my sticks. Okay, they are pretty close to flat to the drum, or my pad in this case. We're not doing this. Okay, not a big angle of attack on the drum, to the drum I should say, but relatively flat. So we get the nice warm part of the bead. We want as much of the bead touching the head as possible. Okay. So anyways, let's get to this exercise. All we're going to do is just practice half notes, okay, playing a stroke, a half note stroke, okay. So the beat comes up, the wrist turns, the arm moves a little bit, okay, and then we stroke, okay. Very nice, relaxed stroke. Up, stroke, okay, like this. Everything is moving together and working together to get a nice big sound of the stroke. Okay. Bead moves. Okay. The wrist turns. The arm comes up all together. And the same thing on the way down. Okay. So we get a nice heavy stroke. Now I want you guys to practice, do this with a metronome. My metronome is set at 80 beats a minute. Okay. So it'll be with a half note. You'll play a half note. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. Okay. If you notice, I'm prepping almost every quarter note. 1, prep, 2, prep, 1, prep, 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 prep. Okay. I want you guys to do the same thing with the left hand, of course. Everything with the mechanics is exactly the same. The mechanics are exactly the same. Okay. Okay. So you turn the wrist, the stick comes up, the arm comes up. We lead from the beat. Okay. 1. One thing that what we're trying to establish is a good full sound, nice heavy weighted sound. We don't want this. That's not what we're going for. You can obviously hear the difference in the sound. It's much louder, much stronger. Okay. I want you guys to do 8 on each hand, like this. Okay, pretty straightforward exercise. And one thing I also want you guys to make note of is the angle of my right hand, okay, and also the amount of space between my elbow and my body here. Okay, we're not doing this kind of thing. We're not totally relaxing the arm so much that it's almost touching the body. At the same time, we're not kicking the elbow out so much that we have this much angle from the stick. That also takes a little bit of weight away from the sound and from the stick. Okay, so it's a little bit in between there. It's just enough so we get a nice, strong, square look to our body. Same thing with the left hand. We don't want it in here touching the body, but at the same time we don't want so much air and light coming through here. It's definitely a lot closer than the right hand will be. But still not touching the body. Also take note of the angle of my forearm. That's another thing about drum height. How to figure out what feels good for you. Okay, so there's a little bit of an angle on my forearm. We're not flat here. Okay, we're definitely not above the elbow. Okay, so again, 8 times on each hand. My metronome's at quarter note equals 80. That's exercise number 1 for you guys.